Did you just go from 6 to 1?
We are live. I said 32761. So the fact that you only caught that was you only got part of it. We're live though.
All right. Welcome everybody. No, your screen is not broken. It is Monday, but we are back in our Reign of Storms playthrough. Our Storm King's Thunder 5e playthrough. And like a bad guest at a party, we are double dipping. How are my players doing today? How's your Mondays, guys?
Not
bad. It went by pretty quick.
Yeah,
Got a lot done today, so progress.
That's true. I did.
It's very good, very good. No Garfields here.
I watched the
That'd be
Blood of
nice.
Zeus. That was all right.
Well, dude, I've really enjoyed that series. Did they make a second season?
They made a second and a third season.
Oh shit. Well, shows how much allegiance I have to Netflix. But the first season I saw was very, very good.
I actually think that is a show that genuinely improves even more. Like as they continue, they like get more and more like cohesive. If that makes sense. Like they bring in the good stuff in, and they kind of anything they had like that didn't really fit. They're like, yeah, get rid of this stuff.
I just loved how the whole first season was pretty much like haircut Zeus being a piece of shit, so she's like, I'm gonna make everybody pay for it. And then at the end, they show how toxic they are for each other, and they can't get back together and fight the Titans. Anywho, speaking of Titans, maybe I'll throw Jungle Titan at you guys, like from Magic the Gathering, because that's a good card. I enjoy that guy.
That would be one sour pickle to fight.
Well, chat, I just want to make it known right now, if you ever hear anybody in-game, in character, say the word pickle, to call them out in chat so I can kill their character immediately. Instant death, no saves. Roll a new character. There's a little bit of before stream bant, and I was expressing my hatred for pickles, and I will let it be known.
We face the Storm King. Merc, this is a pickly moment here, and die.
Yeah, that was when I changed the Storm King to the Nameless King and just murder everybody. Well, hopefully no murder tonight, but we'll see. Because when we last left off last night when we played, the Hunt Lords here faced their greatest threat. A rope bridge across a ravine.
It was.
You know it.
It was arguably worse than Guh.
They have
This was
fought.
faster.
Yeah, at
They
least
have
it
fought
was-
undead monstrosities, hill giant encampments, orcs out the yin yang, but a single stationary rope bridge across a ravine.
It was anything but stationary.
Yeah, I guess you're right. With the wind sending it all over the place, it was anything but stationary.
And with the huge skull that somebody was carrying that I want to get up.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to give up.
Yeah, everything was going fine until Merc, which is currently carrying an adult black dragon skull, decided to carry it across before everybody else could make their way. With Adelaide had transformed into an eagle, flying over to the other side to secure a rope that you guys had meticulously planned out and been using. Resty decided to go across as well as something apparently heard you guys and was making its way towards you to speed up the whole thing. Resty crossed, and then Merc was like, I should go next, carrying this heavy ass skull. And as soon as Merc got a couple steps in, snap goes the rope, and down goes the paladin, falling hundreds of feet down to the ground, where he smashed into a crater and Yamcha'd himself. Ressig was able to hold on, swinging on the fallen bridge, smacking into the side of a cliff where they were able to pull themselves up. And then Millie and Zurag decided to try to Spider-Man their way over, not checking on the ropes that they had thought they had tied really well, and the knots gave loose and they began to fall. But because of the winged boots that Millie wore, she was able to hold on to Zurag, and they Aladdined themselves down to the forest floor, where they were met with Adelaide and Ressig, who had by Adelaide turning into a pretzelotopus, as we were calling it. And then reviving Merc with some ointment from the jar.
Point
A
of
mouthful
order.
of Vaseline.
Millie
No order.
jumped over Ressig and then walked back past Ressig.
Yes, probably the funniest move of the night. Millie floated over Ressig's head to get in front of them to cross the bridge. Saw how the windy conditions were already threatening to take her off course, and then just turned around, hugged Ressig, and just shuttled her way back over into safety. All while Adelaide was at that current point was hanging from the edge of the bridge, just like what.
No regrets.
But nonetheless, you made it to the bottom of this ravine, which wasn't where you were trying to go, but you made it somewhere, and you were able to heal Merc back to consciousness, where he found that luckily his skull was still intact. At which Adelaide, the pretzelotopus, picked it up and dropped it back on him, knocking it back out with the impact damage. He healed him again. And as you guys were all sitting there discussing what you were going to do and how you were going to get back up to the top, the skull that was set on this rock started to move slightly. Merc grabbed it by the horns, and Ressig adds some reverse pressure on it by pushing on it. And eventually they both lifted it up, revealing a flail snail, which attacked, shone a bright light from its shell, stunning Millie and Zurag, and then finally falling dead as it was attacked by the rest of you guys. With that beast handled, you guys took a moment to kind of catch your breath, grab some water from the river, at which you heard a song being sung through the trees that seemed to be approaching you. And as you waited for the singer to approach, you saw a male Loxodon leading an ankylosaurus that was pulling a large cart made out of a huge or massive tortoise shell, coming out of the woods. He stopped when he saw you and seemed to be quite pleasantly surprised, and he welcomed you, or said good day to you, and then introduced himself as Zanu, the wandering merchant. And that is where we are tonight. Standing across the way, you guys see once again you see this Loxodon, which is like an anthropomorphic elephant. He stands about 8.5 foot tall. He's covered in mossy beads. He has a feathered headdress on. He wears a lot of tribal sashes. His trunk is painted with like tribal paint all the way from the where his eyes are down to the tip of his trunk, where wrapped around a handle of a censer, which is currently wafting a sweet smelling scent that as soon as you smell it kind of puts you guys a little bit at a relaxed state. The massive tortoiseshell cart that the Ankylosaurus pulls is lacquered with glowing jungle runes and adorned with vines, bones, and dinosaur teeth. And you see the Ankylosaurus himself is also decorated with bone plate barding and painted war symbols of like extinct dinosaur tribes. As Adelaide, you would recognize a few of them just from being around this area. As he
Did Adelaide drop her
me
dinosaur
scroll my
form?
note.
Because her token is back to herself.
I mean, do you want to stay your
Oh, she's
dinosaur form? I
hiding.
just Oh yeah, you were hiding. You were doing a pretty good job at hiding. You're
Yeah.
you're technically still in your dinosaur form. I just reverted you because we're not in combat or anything like that. But just you still have
Yeah.
time. Just remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you guys see him, he goes over, kind of letting the reins fall loose. The Ankylosaurus, as he walks towards the water, the Ankylosaurus kind of steps up next to him and dips its head, and begins to lap up the water, cooling himself down. You see Zanu dips his hands in the water as well, and takes kind of cups it in and takes a sip of it. And it's like, welcome, wayfarers. The jungle whispered of your coming. Boulder Drop heard it in the earth, and the leaves told me your hearts are hungry for strength, for magic, for stories.
The little shit
What
in me
is that?
immediately is like, no, thank you, goodbye.
Well,
Okay then.
good. It's good to see a friendly face around here. We're new to these parts, surprisingly, if you'd believe it, just being wherever we're at. Where are we, by the way?
You're in the jungle.
The mighty jungle.
The very same.
Well, but, where? If you wouldn't, you would have guessed we were kind of lost. We don't really know where we ended up. Traveled a very long way in a very short time.
I see. Well, you're not very far from Omu.
Olmu?
What direction is Omu in? We're a little bit turned around. I apologize.
I see. Well, you see there, and he points behind you, and like, you didn't see it before, but now it's being pointed out, and maybe some sort of mysticism here. You see this tall, like, mountain, like peak with smoke rising from the top. And then, like, as the wind kind of sways, you see that there's a couple of peaks that have smoke falling. Those are the peaks of flame. And Omu, from this direction, is to the north.
Thank you. We greatly appreciate that.
It is my pleasure. You look wary. If you want, you could travel with me for some time. I'm not going to Omu, but I could show you the way.
Do we even know where we're supposed to go?
Well,
We don't even know what the town's called, do we?
In the forest with no sense of direction and no idea where to go. Why would you put yourself in such a predicament?
Well,
Some may say that we were hurled through space. Some may say we fell from the sky. But others say that we're here now, and we don't know where to go.
You almost
hear
rhymed it with,
the
and I don't know why.
the Ankylosaurus like lifts his head up from the water, and like the water's like kind of just like dripping down from his mouth as it's just like smacking its lips. And it's like, "Roar!" It's like, yes, one of you must have fallen. That must have been what you heard there, Boulder Drop.
Well,
Prob-
we kind of all fell in a way, but this one, and she points to Merc, definitely didn't have a very graceful landing.
Merc has pulled out a rag and he's kneeling and he's wiping down the skull.
Did you happen to land on that snail when you fell?
Luckily we didn't. Bought it later though.
close enough to it
You want
that it
some?
was not
Oh.
Hold up.
happy.
Snail meat.
Oh, I see. Well, good thing it was just a baby. The mamas seem to be quite territorial and quite easily to anger.
Well, this one definitely
Thank you for letting
seemed
us
to be
know.
a little upset with our presence.
Well, I'm sure you just startled it. They like to wait here on the side of the river for unsuspecting prey, such as fish, or other animals that come here to take a drink.
So,
Is our stream just not doing anything?
I was
I got a
asking.
black screen on my end here.
I think it's back up now. Try refreshing the page.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I had to completely start Twitch over again. Okay.
Yeah, it's.
Billy will
it's
offer. Go ahead.
I was about to say it's. I don't know why. Like I have good connection on the computer, the other computer, but the one that's actually running the stream, the internet is just sucks. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
Are you running Wi-Fi through that one?
Yeah.
You should probably hardline it.
Yeah. I have to.
But either way, it seems to be working.
Billy will offer some extra snail goo, as it is medicinal, if you would like some.
Oh, well, thank you. He like starts checking his pockets. He's like, oh, here we are. He opens up like one of the pockets on his in his stash, pulls out a small little pouch, and he'll walk through the water, and you see it only comes up to like his waist. Again, he's like 8.5 foot tall, and he walks over. And you see as he walks over, like a snake, like tries to get at him, like this large constrictor that was waiting at the bottom, like an anaconda, and he just smacks it on the head, like a little lightly, just not very hard, just like a little, and it just like shrinks back down into the water, and you just see it kind of swim off. Cheeky bugger. Thank you for this goo. I will mix it in with my tea. Here's a pouch of soothsayer herbs.
Cute.
You're very welcome. And you smell it, and it smells exactly like what's coming out of his sensor. You should burn that as you walk around the jungles. It pacifies most of the creatures here, and they'll leave you alone on your journey for a while. Albeit there might be some rambunctious ones that are a little bit more zealous than others. So still stay on your guard.
We've been trying to be, but there's a lot of new creatures here that we haven't encountered before either.
I can tell that you are not from these parts. In fact, I feel a faraway energy coming off each of you. Tell me, what brings you to the forest? Or jungle, rather. And he sits down and kind of just like
Crisscross
sets his
applesauce.
feet in the water. He just sits his feet in the water.
Merc will kind of grunt from the skull and he'll go, technically speaking, we're being extorted to do something.
Ooh, extortion. That's quite a bad thing. What are you being extorted to do?
Mark will think for a moment. Their friend didn't tell us to keep this on the hush hush, well, that's on him. He'll go. We're supposed to find a tribe of lizard folk, go back in time, kidnap something called the Sun Tyrant's Egg.
Oh,
Did
I
we
see.
get a name for his tribe, by the way? Or just he said meet his tribe?
Adelaide would know them as the Terror Claw tribe.
Okay. All right. Sorry for interrupting. Continue.
No worries.
Merc is following the letter of our agreement. Ifrin did not say we had to keep this on the hush hush.
Well, you are in the right area if you're looking for lizard folk tribes. They move throughout these parts quite frequently. So at least you are on the right path. But you look weary.
It's definitely been quite a day.
Travel through the jungle can be like that. Well,
Is there anywhere?
if you need some guidance,
around?
I am...
Oh, I was about to ask if there's anywhere around that is safe to rest. It seems like everywhere we go, there's something trying to eat you here.
That is the way of the jungle. But I do know a place that's rather close. If you wish to travel with me, I could take you there. I'm sure my friends would show you great hospitality.
That would be lovely, thank you.
It is my pleasure. We have traded and now we are friends. But I have many other wares besides soothsayer salts and things of the sort. Might I interest you in anything from the cart?
Certainly wouldn't
I would love to take
be
some
any harm in taking a look.
He'll raise his he's got a wooded staff. He raises it up and he's like, Hundal Hollow, and you watch as like a green spark of light swirls from it, flies over to the tortoiseshell, and all those jungle runes light up, and it begins to open up into a full like shop face.
It's like a bazaar, all by himself.
Yeah. Yep. Well, come take a look. See if anything suits your fancy. I have many items. And he'll walk back over and wait for you guys to come across the water. Watch your step. There's a bit of a deep part right here.
Rustic will cross trying to keep an eye out for the snake that was lurking in the water. Boop.
Doing the turny thing now.
Oh yeah, because I updated it all.
Merc is gonna pick up the skull.
That's quite a hefty load you're carrying there, my friend. That'll slow you down in the jungle.
Hmm.
And in the jungle, slow is not what you want to be. Unless your old boulder drop here. And the Ankylosaurus like looks up. He's got a mouthful of jungle plants. He's just.
Merc will pat the skull and he goes, I don't know what it is, but I feel a affinity towards this thing. I want to get it home.
Well, perhaps an easier way to carry it. And he goes over to the cart and he pulls off what just looks like a folded square piece of fabric. And he swaps it out and it expands out into a circle and he lays it on the ground. You could put it in here if you like.
Merc will look down and go, well, what is it?
Well, it's a hole.
Merc will kind of go to the edge and like hop down with the skull.
You hop in and you go about like 10 foot in, and you're in like looks like a room.
Huh.
You see, quite spacious down there.
Merc will call up, quite. What happens if you close it?
Well, do you want to find out?
Obviously, this is the moment where Merc
For science?
does one of these. Yeah, with the 10, Merc would go, sure.
Okay. And you see he just picks up the hole and it just becomes like it looks like right as he is like has it just picked up, it just looks like a blanket just being held over his arm, and you guys don't see Merc. And Merc, for you it's dark. Everything's gone out. It's just dark and quiet. You don't hear any sounds of the jungle or anything. And then he flips it back out, lays it back down, and then you hear everything again. Are you okay in there?
Merc laying on the ground. Playing nothing. Merc will go, yeah, it was dark. Can stuff live in here?
I wouldn't recommend keeping anything living in here for an extended period of time. But your skull will do just fine, as it does not need to breathe.
Merc
And
will
he like
pat-
sticks his hand. You see his hand kind of comes out of like the darkness. He's like, you don't see the jungle, like, but he's like his hand comes through the darkness. Like, here, I'll help up.
Yeah, Merc will scoot the skull to the side, stand on it, and then grab his hand.
And he pulls you up, and then he picks up the fabric and folds it up. Here you go, friend. For you.
Merc will do that thing where you're like looking for your wallet, or he like pats the sides and he goes, what do I owe ya?
Oh, well, gold is always fine, but I prefer stories or rare herbs or fossils. I'm a collector of sorts.
Merc will think for a second. You'll go. I have something for you, maybe. A recent story, but one from the north along the Sword Coast.
I would love to hear it.
Do you know of brain goes ahead and fries? Shit, fuck! Nerd just dies. Where are we from? I just forgot the name of our town.
No one are told.
Nornarthold. For some reason, I was like, it's gone.
Otherwise known as Narnar's Hold.
Yeah.
Narnars.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I've not heard of it.
He goes, well, we had arrived there from the Great Forest, east of it. After we had a run-in with a dragon known as Inferno. We arrived to find a town in terror of their lords, who they called the Hunt Lords. Spectral revenants that rose every night to hunt whatever they could in the woods, man or beast. Seeing an opportunity to do a good deed, Merc will look at Ressig. Earn a little coin, he basically just says that loud. We journeyed into the keep of the Hunt Lords. And he'll kind of go through, like, the story, he like, beat for beat, like, and then I blew up, once, twice, a third time. Every room I walked in, I ran into a trap. Eventually, we did come across the Hunt Lords themselves, and after a battle, they offered us a challenge to fight a beast down in the caverns below the keep. When we engaged the beast, my friend Zurag here, and you'll gesture to Zurag, slew it with the aid of Ressig and Millie and Adelaide. I was there too.
Meanwhile, Adelaide is nowhere to be seen. Just a dinosaur hiding in the bushes. Fucking giant dinosaur.
But upon slaying it and retrieving its treasures, we found ourselves lords that keep. We've been trying to do our best since then. Merc is not a great storyteller. He just ends there.
I see. Well, yeah, you see, he kind of like bows a bit. It is a pleasure to meet the Hunt Lords of Narnar's Hold.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Wait.
Thank you for that story.
Merc's thinking. Narnar's Hold. Sounds about right.
Oh no.
And then he will reach into his pocket and he'll pull out, because he doesn't need it anymore because his pipe's broken, he'll pull out his like tobacco pouch and he'll offer it to the Lexodon man.
Oh, his eyes kind of light up a bit. I happen to have some of my own. We will exchange. Thank you very much. And he gives you a few pinches of what he has in exchange for some of your tobacco. It smells lovely.
Grown outside of Waterdeep.
Waterdeep. This is a place covered by water, I imagine?
It's
Uh,
on the coast.
Oddly
I see.
enough, it's mostly covered by wizards.
Wizards. How exciting. Please, take a look at my wares. See if there's anything that suits your fancy. And you guys see there's an arrangement of weapons and armor and trinkets and potions and stuff like that. There is quite a few things. Just trying to find art for Boulder Drop. So there seems to be there's a great axe that's carved from a curved serrated fang of a massive creature. There's vines wrapped around the haft and carved into the teeth that kind of line the jaw are these glyphs. You see he's got a there's like a necklace of carved wood and bone charms that has a strange looking reptilian type creature's head, or just like at least the depiction of on the center. There's also a thick leather cord that's strung together with polished dinosaur bone beads that are painted red and that are carved with tribal symbols. There's also a set of thick layered green black plates, like a scaled armor. There's also a flask that is sealed with a wax of some sort, but like the bone that is that the flask is made out of is like thin in areas. You can see like a glowing orange liquid coming from inside. There's a jagged wand of glossy black obsidian with glowing crimson veins and like a red ruby at the top of it. A wooden mask, like almost like headdress type, that is seems to mimic that of a ceratopsian skull that's painted with frilled patterns and gemstones. There's a twisted vine of silver and green ring that has that's shaped like a curling fog with tiny little emeralds shaped like droplets shimmering in it. There's also a long iridescent feather the size of a dagger that's set in a gold clasp. Another flask of clear liquid that seems to shift with the color of its surroundings. A wooden blade inlaid with razor-sharp obsidian teeth with carved glyphs. Another set of scaled armor that has overlapping scales of what seem to be like some sort of jungle drake hide. A wide leather belt with claw-shaped buckles and bone trinkets. A round shield of iron wood and reinforced bone that's shaped like an ankylosaurus tail club. You see a bottle that's shaped like a fang that has a liquid that is glowing faintly blue. And inside of it, it looks like there's a preserved eyelid of eye of a reptile. There's a staff that looks pretty gnarly. It's a wooden staff, but as it spirals, this wood spirals up. About halfway, it becomes bone, and it looks like spinal cord, and it leads up to the head of like a caribou. I think they're called apex, like the ones with the twisted horns. It's like the skull and the horns stick out. There's a hooded cloak that seems to be stitched from hundreds of overlapping leaves and feathers. Slender silver circlets that are adorned with flat silvery leaves that look like they could possibly glow. There's this little tiny like 2.5-inch white mask, tribal mask. That is it's kind of carved and polished, and it has a bit of a like a little amber stone to make the eyes look like that golden hue. And then another potion that sits about pale green. It's in a hollowed gourd that's decorated with pressed flowers. You can smell a floral and sweet scent coming off of it. There's quite a few things, guys, so I'm gonna be reading off a few of these items. There's a radiant sword that has a golden scaled hilt and a blade etched with solar patterns and raptor feathers. There's also a medallion of carved jade depicting a stegosaurus encircled by sun rays. There's another set of armor which is metal links that are interwoven with green scales and vine threading. The pauldrons seem to resemble snapping turtle shells. There's a large rectangular shield that's embossed with a roaring hadrosaur. If you don't know what those are the ones that have like the big like heavy plates on their head, like that smash into things. That's not right. Either way, it's a hadrosaur. And then there's a silver stoppered vial that seems to be filled with a golden liquid that has some sort of like looks like small little flower petals floating inside.
Uh,
Can we get that list like in chat? Because like there's so many cool things, I got really excited and I forgot to start typing things out.
That's a lot.
They
no,
all
you would have
sound really
needed to be
cool.
a stenographer there to like keep
Yeah,
up with
he's
that.
going.
I was
Yeah.
I was like,
said a
well, I
lot of
heard
them.
scale mail like 3 times. Every time I went, ooh, and then he said another one. I was like, oh. Then he was like, yes, another one. I was like,
Yeah, every word you said kind of was just like, I am interested.
I missed
Yeah,
the
I'd have to
last
do a
set
lot of copy,
armor
pasting, and deleting.
that you said had like
The last set of armor
with
I
the snapping
read.
turtle. What kind of armor was that?
Yeah, metal. It's like what would be chainmail, but it's metal links that are interwoven with green scales and vine threading, and the pauldrons resemble snapping turtle shells.
there was a Drake one too
Yep.
that Merc would have looked at, which I think you said was like a scale mail.
Yeah. There was a
Yeah,
green. There
the
was
scales
two
of
scale
jungle
mail.
drake hide.
There was
Yeah.
jungle drake and then one.
So
was
that's actually a
green.
breastplate.
Hmm.
With a breastplate.
Yeah, it's known as the scale plate of the vine bound.
Ooh.
He holds it up and he's like, "Oh yes, this here. It's a +1 breastplate." And as a reaction, once per long rest, it entangles the attacker with vines. Essentially, cast entangle when somebody strikes you.
That's nice. I think because your armor or your ace dex is pretty bad, right, Mark?
My dex, yeah. My dex isn't good.
Okay.
A breastplate would be, I think, a downgrade.
Yeah. It would.
Here, how about I give you guys the names of all these items, and then you tell me what suits your fancy. Maybe that'll be a
Okay.
little easier than just the description.
Okay.
All right. And I kind of have them like separated in like what maybe each of you might be interested in, but they're kind of like anybody could use them essentially.
Yeah.
So the great axe that I mentioned is called the Fang of the Thunder Maw. That weird like reptilian totem is called the Totem of the Sky Bellow. The bone bead necklace is the bone bead necklace of the Stampede. There's the hide of the Scaled Titan, and then a potion of Primal Roar. There is the obsidian wand of the Volcanic Heart, the mask of the Ceratops Spirit, ring of Jungle Mist, feather of the Sky Claw, and a potion of Chameleon Veil. Then I'm gonna butcher this word because it's the bane of my existence, but Makuhutel.
Makuhita.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, no, the sword, because it's the obsidian thing with the
Yeah,
obsidian.
yeah.
It's the acid sword.
So that word of the Raptor Lord, scale plate of the Vinebound, Jungle Hunter's belt, shield of the Anklo King, and potion of cold-blooded focus. There's the staff of the horned apex, cloak of the camouflage predator, moonleaf circlet, fossilized chewinga charm, and potion of the feather fern bloom. There's a sun scale blade, a saurian blessing amulet, an armor of the emerald basin, shield of the bellowing horn, and potion of sacred vitality.
Can we get those?
What
or
does
can I
the
just-
Maklahite do?
No.
No. So
What'd
bad.
you ask me there, Merc?
What does the Maklahite do?
The Maklahite is it's a +1. It can either be a +1 longsword or a greatsword. But the serrated obsidian teeth grant a bonus 1d4 slashing damage.
It's pretty good.
Um, Too bad we're not rich.
I'm so confused.
Actually, I think we're kind of poor.
The Ankla King shield?
Shield of the Angler King. When struck by a melee attack, it's a +1 shield. When struck by a melee attack, you can use a reaction to deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage to the attacker once per turn.
Nice.
Well, obviously, because of reaction.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think what I use my reactions on. I really that way might be okay for Merc because Merc doesn't use a whole lot of reactions.
What is the where'd it go? Ring of Jungle Mist do?
A ring of jungle mist. When attuned, this green jade ring lightly fogs around you when threatened, gives you +1 AC and a +1 to all your saves. It's essentially the ring of protection.
Ooh.
I already have a ring of protection. What will happen with that?
Having a second ring of protection
No, I have
is
a cloak of protection. Never mind.
ring of
Yeah, so
protection
you
is good.
And then the
Can we type these in the compendium or no?
These are homebrew items. I will have to make cards for them and give them to
Okay.
you through D&D Beyond.
there was like a circlet of some kind, but I don't have that one listed.
Yes, the the moonleaf circlet.
Yes.
It's something that benefits a druid. Gives you a +1 to your wild shape save DC, and it lets you cast Entangle once per day.
There was a second sword, silver leaf sword, something. I forget,
There's a sun scale blade.
that one.
You'll like this one there, Merc. It's a +1 longsword, and on a smite, the blade briefly radiates sunlight, forcing undead in a 10-foot radius to make a DC 13 con save or be blinded until the end of your next turn.
I do divine smites.
A little tiny 2-inch mask thing.
Or the mass fossilized chewinga charm. Another druid item. When you wild shape, you gain temporary HP equal to your druid level.
That's not bad either.
Okay.
Merc will go. Do you understand giant at all? And he'll kind of show the gavel, the Ven rune.
I have seen this in my passings. I'm not fluent, but I do know a little. For
Well,
instance, I
maybe-
can recognize the cloud and the hill runes on your friend's armor here and weapons here.
Maybe this would be worth some in trade. I know one of its properties is that if you put this rune on something, people can't lie near it.
Oh,
And as a traveling merchant, that might be worth something to you.
That is interesting. And what would you wish to trade for this?
Merc will. He'll look a little pained, but he'll go. Our healer often finds herself in trouble. This ring, you said it will keep her safe.
It will.
Would that be an even trade?
I would be glad to trade this, if that is what you wish.
I have to make sure I still have my flow. I'm like 90% sure I still have my flow. I do. Merc will nod and he'll go, I think that's a fair one. He'll kind of offer up the gavel, the warhammer.
Really, we
Go
got a
pick it
little
up.
teary-eyed from.
He'll pick it up and kind of hold it and test its balance and stuff like that. It's quite a formidable weapon. Thank you. And here is your item. That's it. He sets the hammer on like a rack, and
How much is that hammer worth?
A lot. Probably a
I'm
lot more
sorry,
than that.
it's priceless.
Merc will just walk over and drop the ring in Millie's hands. Go, don't die, or I'll die. And then he walks away.
Millie will put it on her hand. I'll attune to this later.
Chugman wants the Makuhute very badly, but
Want the sword that gives you extra smite
I
stuff?
will.
so it's for undead, whereas like 1d4 all the time is just go juice.
Yeah, I don't know when you'll be fighting undead.
No idea when I would be fighting undead.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen any undead since you got into this
Just
jungle.
like
Not once.
fucking 3 hours ago.
I am not denying that it has a very good use, but I am saying 1d6 at all times is really nice, or 1d4 is really nice.
Yep. Well, I will tell you. Xanu will tell you guys that he does accept gold, but he's more so a collector of things. Most importantly, stories of heroism. But he also will accept rare herbs and fossils if you have them.
What all? Because like you said a lot of stuff, and you said they were kind of broken up by like things that we would want. Out of just sheer
Yeah,
curiosity, other than the ring, was there anything that Millie would be interested in? There's so many names.
I'll give you this. I'll give you the sorcerer stuff.
Thank you.
Obsidian wand of the volcanic heart, which has 5 charges and allows you to cast magic missile, which does your regular D4 +1, but it also does an additional fire damage. Or you can expend all 5 charges and cast fireball.
And it recharges per day.
Recharges 1d3 +1 charge per day. There's the Mask of the Ceratop Spirit, which grants +1 to AC while concentrating on spells, and allows you to cast Shield once per long rest. The Ring of Jungle Mist you have. There's the Feather of the Sky Claw, which allows you to use a reaction to slow fall or hover briefly once per short rest, such as the Feather Fall spell. And then there's the Potion of the Chameleon Veil, which this is kind of more anybody could benefit from it, but it grants invisibility for a minute or until you cast a spell. It's pretty much invisibility.
Are all of these things you
Seeing
feel
all
attuned
this,
to?
Adelaide. Oh, sorry.
No,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Millie.
I was just asking if how much of this stuff has to be attuned to and how much of it's just this is for me.
So, the ring needs to be attuned to, and that's it.
Okay.
Um.
Hold on, Adelaide was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so seeing all this, Adelaide will come out of hiding. And she will, yeah.
Morph back
She
into
will,
a druid.
yes, she will turn back into a druid.
Oh, a new friend. Hello there. I am Zanu.
Hi! Hello! I see you have really fun stuff that you like to trade for stories.
I love stories. I travel all over collecting them.
Oh, I have really good stories to tell ya.
I'm all ears, and he's
We
got
all
these
do.
big elephant ears. But I will say this is your moment to role play. I want you guys to actually tell a story to Zeno. Don't just be like, I tell him about this time and stuff like that. You know, you don't have to go crazy, but you know, give me some detail.
Well, my name is Adelaide, and I am from Chult.
I am Zanu. I am also from Chult.
Very nice. Have you heard of what's the organization what's the name of it?
The-
The Centrum. Have you heard of the Centrum?
I have heard their names in passing, but I have
Oh,
not
have
dealt
you
with
been?
them in my personal experience.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell you should. They're not really good people. Anyway, so my story.
Run and go, hey!
She just does not look at Merc. She just keeps talking. She's like, so have you ever heard of their animal racing events? You know how you can bet on races and but it doesn't seem like anybody ever wins in those games that they used to hold. So one time, my good friend Randall and I decided to scam them because they always scam the other people. So we got into a race and I turned into a dinosaur and he was my jockey. And we kind of scammed them and we won the race. They were not happy about it. But it was really invigorating to scam a scammer.
I see. And
Yeah.
whatever became of this scam? Did you get away with it?
Well, we kind of did. They kind of caught on to us, and me and my friend, we took off, and our ship capsized, and I lost him. And I met these friends, my new friends, and we have been traveling along, fighting giants, mostly winning, almost dying, but
Actually dying.
but once
Gregory
actually,
Lucian.
yeah. And then we got this we inherited this town, and then the Centrum caught on. So that's why we are here back again, trying to save my life. And she'll show her the collar in her neck, on her neck. So we're running an errand for them, so they will leave me alone. Maybe not, but yeah, that's my story. But I wouldn't recommend you doing any dealings with them, though.
Oh, I am not one for scams. I run a business based on honesty and forthrightness. So I shall steer clear. That is a
Yeah.
wonderful story. I do wish you luck in your future endeavors, and I hope that you free yourself from under this grasp of this person.
I hope
Perhaps
so
a
too.
trinket could assist you.
That would be lovely. Do I get to pick
What
what
would
I
you-
want?
Yeah. What do you want?
There was two things.
The Moonleaf Circuit and the fossilized Chewinga charm. There's probably more for you, though. Probably these two. But you'd have to ask.
For storytelling purposes.
So there was two trinkets. Is there anything else? Sorry, go ahead.
There's the Staff of the Horned Apex, which is a quarterstaff as well as a Druid Focus. Allows you to cast Speak with Animals twice per day, and it grants you a +1 to all spell attack rolls.
Ooh, okay.
And then there's the Cloak of the Camouflage
And the two
Predator.
things.
This is the Cloak of Elvenkind, but it is more jungle flavored. You already have a Cloak of Elvenkind, so it probably doesn't interest you.
I do. Yeah.
And then there's the Potion of the Feather Fern Bloom, which, when consumed, grants you the effect to pass without trace for 1 hour.
Oh. I think I will like the staff.
Staff or the circlet? Or no.
I'll go with the staff, please.
Okay. He hands you the staff, and like I said, it's like a spiraled wooden staff that spirals up into the spinal column of a horned apex, and then ends with the skull head and the twisted pointed horns that jut up. They're like 2-foot long horns. It's pretty.
Well,
pretty
thank
sick
you,
looking
my
staff.
friend.
Thank you for the wonderful story. I shall spread it across Chult as I go.
Well,
Shadow.
yeah, that's fine.
Shadow, you had a question about story time?
Yes. So, if, for the purpose of storytelling, may Millie use a cantrip as a flavor, could I use
You can
Ray of
do it.
Frost to make tiny little ice sculptures to
You can, yeah.
imagery?
Any way you guys want to embellish your stories using your abilities and stuff, flavor how you wish. But yeah, absolutely, he will appreciate it even more. Let's see. So Merc, Millie, and Adelaide have gotten an item so far. Let's check in with our other two, and then we'll continue on.
Well,
Unless there's nothing that interests you.
there's lots of things
Oh,
on that list that I
would-
don't know what all they do. So my curiosity is getting the best. I'm
Okay.
just sitting here with like too many decisions and looking through the whole list, trying to figure out what they all
Yeah.
are.
If-
Okay, well, I guess I haven't broken down into like what I feel might interest you guys individually. So for Resig, the Makuito, whatever the hell, of the Raptor Lord, might interest you. The Scale Plate of the Vinebound, which as a reaction, once per long rest, entangles the attacker with vines until the end of your next turn. There's the Jungle Hunter's Belt, which once per long rest allows you to reroll any failed weapon attack. There's the Shield of the Ankylo King. When struck by melee attack, you can use a reaction to deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage to the attacker. And then, and like I said, the potions are kind of ambiguous, but Potion of Cold-Blooded Focus grants advantage on initiative and +1 to hit for 1 minute. And then
Well-
while you ruminate on that, I'll read the ones that I have flavor for the barbarian here. The Fang of the Thundermaw, +1 Great Axe, crafted from the jawbone of a tyrant lizard. On a crit, the target must succeed on a DC 13 con save or be stunned until the end of your next turn. Totem of the Sky Bellow. While raging, once per long rest, a wearer can roar like a thunder lizard, causing fear in a 10-foot radius. The Bone Bead Necklace of the Stampede grants advantage on athletics checks and lets you move through difficult terrain, and also gives you the charge ability, which is like a boar's charge. It just does a little extra damage if you move a certain amount of feet before you hit. The Hide of the Scaled Titan, it's a +1 hide armor, provides resistance to fire damage. And then the Potion of Primal Roar. When drunk, and I really don't want to give this to you, but when drunk, your next melee attack does max damage.
Oh,
It's a one-use potion, but yeah.
that
What was that one called?
It's called Potion of Primal Roar.
that is insane because you stack fucking badass points. Just stack up some badass points. Like, I'm gonna use badass points, chug potion, and just nuke somebody.
Yeah.
Tell Ifrin. Well, if it's stories you're after, I think I can come up with some. How about a tale of a halfling and his twin, together for their entire life, but different. One athletic, one intelligent. Her intelligence noticed more than his might. And eventually she was taken away. The twin felt like he was torn in half. Lost and confused in this world, he tried to live out his life when more people in his life disappeared. Mother, father disappeared into the wilderness, no word, no sign. And when this brave little halfling decided to run away in anger and fear and sadness, whatever it was, they found themselves captured, imprisoned by monsters, bent on torturing and eating, escaping with the help of one like his captors, and a dwarf who sadly fell, but gifted this halfling with purpose and the tools to fight. Years passed, and the halfling found himself in a crowd of unusual people, fighting against forces well beyond their capabilities, but at least by what they thought. But as these things came to them, they succeeded more and more, fighting greater threats, defending towns and villages, and freeing an entire region from the raidings and destruction caused by giants. Only to be knocked down when he heard that his parents were alive. At least they were. Trapped in these giants' cells. He went running after them to look, but in his folly, a attracted too much attention and fell himself. Only to come back by some means that he didn't understand, with another one of his allies in the same circumstance. They hunted. They searched for a way to rid themselves of this deteriorating curse that seemed to sap at their energy and their life. Only to be rescued by their friends and the help of a dryad in the woods, conjuring some magic that none of them even knew existed, twisting and turning their body into something new, but restoring their life and giving them purpose again.
That is a very tragic and wonderful story. I thank you for sharing that with me.
Stories you want, that's the best I can conjure.
It was a wonderful story.
Can we tell more stories to get more stuff?
Yes. Yes, you can.
I have one more story.
All right. Well, we still
is
have.
not-
Let me settle this story, and then we gotta
Yeah,
get
yeah.
from Zurag. I mean, everybody gets one first, and then we'll go back around. So yeah, Ressig, great story. What item would you like, my friend? And it can be anyone that I've listed. Like I said, I did group them up, which might benefit, and then some are specific. But I mean,
Yeah, was the shield just did the reaction bludgeoning damage, or was it also a +1?
it's a +1 shield.
Okay.
And when you're struck by a melee attack, you use your reaction to like smash it into them and do a d6 bludgeoning damage to them.
Well, I do have attunement for either of the shield or the breastplate.
I know.
Okay. Well, if you'd have a trade for a story and a trade for an item, I have this, and he'll pull out the Trident of Fish Command. If you'd allow for one for the story and one for this rather odd-looking weapon, lets you talk to swimming creatures. Take control of them every once in a while.
Well, I would never control a creature against its will, but being able to speak with an aquatic creature would be quite nice. They often have stories of places that we land dwellers cannot reach. I would gladly accept this as a trade.
Alright, then I'll take the scaled plate of the vine bound and the, what was the shield called?
Shield of the Ankylo King. Just write down what you guys are getting. That way when I make the cards for it on D&D Beyond, I can shoot them over to you.
Okay.
I was gonna point of order. Technically, Shadow didn't tell a story yet.
Merc traded for me. You can do Merc first if you want. I don't mind.
No. You need to do a
Well, I
drag.
wanted to get everybody to an item or something like that, and then we'll go back around and start with Millie if she wants to tell a story. The floor is yours, Zurag. Hit us with a story.
Zurag's gonna like pop up his belt a little bit, and it's like, I'm gonna tell you the story of the siege of Grudhaug. And he'll start like painting a picture of the giant building on the top of the hill that we fought Guy at. I mean, explain how obviously everything didn't go as planned. We tried to sneak in through the back. Basically ended up fighting everything in the entire place. Went the hardest way possible. I'm sorry, I was reading some. We stormed into the back end of Guz's chamber. The foul stench of death throughout the air. He'd explain the legions of everything that we fought, the wall that got built up, and the fact that Merc was stuck on one side and basically fended off everybody in the chamber by himself for what seemed like an eternity. And little by little, we wore down her defenses, and what seemed almost impossible because the entire party was almost wiped. And eventually we wised up and realized, he would explain how she was resting on a giant ass cart, and for some reason none of us had decided to try to knock her out of it until the very end. You continue with saying how she fell, how he came about getting the belt. She was so massive, she dropped through the ground and took us with her. Sorry. And at this point, I guess he would explain that Ressig thought he had gotten a chance to find his parents while we were there. And we ended up getting split up by the massive flood that happened. And that was when they ended up getting taken out, right?
Mm-hmm. Another perspective to the same story. And he puts his hand on your shoulder. The lesson to be learned from this tale is that even in the heat of battle, cooler heads prevail. Make sure you remember that. And he kind of just stares at you with a knowing look.
You can see into his soul.
Yeah. He's got those elephant eyes that are just wise beyond their years and stuff like that, and really intelligent. He's just... You all have been through quite the ordeal together. You are weaving a tale that is grand. I hope that after we part ways and you continue your tale, that the paths of our lives bring us together again, so I may find out how the end comes to be. A wonderful story. Your bond is great. I can sense that. Not only in your words, but just in your energy. There's a deep caring for one another amongst this group. And that is a great treasure. Greater than anything gold can buy. But the nice weapon or item never hurts. So you may choose one from my cart. And at this point, the Ankylosaurus, shit, I just lost his name. Boulder Drop is now like kind of laid out, listening to the stories, just kind of lazily chewing on some like aquatic plants and just listening. And each story that you guys have told so far seems to add a little rune to the shell. What item would you like, Zurak?
I think I'm gonna have to take the potion.
I thought you might. So he will hand you the potion. Like I said, it's a bone flask that's sealed with wax, and but like it's like a very thin bone, so you can see like a swirling orange liquid in it. I've heard a story from everyone except for you, little one.
Is that okay, Chuck? Man, you asked if
Yeah,
you could go first.
I had a story in the moment there.
If you want to go, and then
You can
Millie,
go
that's
first.
fine.
Merc is kind of like there's like a chain and an amulet kind of wrapped about his fist, and as we have talked about Grahau 3 times, he'll just say, "You say you repeat these stories, yes?"
I tell many a tale around many of a campfire. Those who I meet on the road are all travelers are keen to trade tales.
Tell this one well, if you may. And Merc will just very quietly, staring down at this amulet of devotion, he goes, "Let me tell you of Barris the Bold, who journeyed with his friends to save their souls. Through Grohow they strode, mighty God did they oppose. O Barris, so bold. When his friends marched deep below, Barris followed, oh so bold. When his friends marched to find their kin, Barris followed, oh so bold. When his friends did fall, Barris followed, oh so bold." And he'll offer out the amulet of devotion.
He takes it and he looks at it, and you can tell like he's like repeating what you said in his head as he looks at it, and he clenches his fist around it and looks at you. Thank you. Thank you for this. What would you like there, Merc?
Oh man, it's almost crazy because I think Merc will say, "You said you would repeat the story." I think that's a prize enough for me.
I shall offer you this boon. And then you hear a voice from above as Vader gives you inspiration.
Thank you.
And he sets the amulet on a hook, and it hangs there amongst the other trinkets.
All right, so Millie is going to use Ray of Frost, and she's gonna kind of develop like a little like a little village basically, and like of tiny little frozen crystal-like looking things, obviously ice. And she's gonna like kind of make it like have like a little snowing effect to the village, and she's gonna be like, yeah, over like in like a kind of a greater map, and she's like gonna show like, so there was a family of traveling sorcerers, and growing up, this young girl used to travel with her parents to all of these different villages, and her parents were kind of healers of sorts. They wanted to save the world, and through many villages that we have traveled, there was one in particular that we got to call home. It was a small village near, shoot, I just had it. It's like under something. Sorry. I lost it because I got distracted by Merc. Thunder Tree.
monster,
Near Thunder
sorry.
Tree. And yeah, one day, this young girl's parents told her to take some medicine to a nearby elderly gentleman and his wife. And she went. She came back. But there was a storm that night, and the elderly gentleman didn't want her traveling back, and they were a friend of the family. So she stayed, and then she went home, and then she'll start conjuring up a firebolt and just launch it at the village. And then it's going to, kind of explode, and what's there will melt, and then the ground will be roughed up a little bit. And she'll say this is what she came back to. Devastation, heartbreak. No one that she knew, her family, couldn't find anything. And as a result, she traveled. She did not want to be alone, so she went to, varying places that she had visited when she was younger on her travels. Stayed with various families that were grateful to her parents for taking care of them so well. And in one of these small towns, there was a rumor, a legend, if you will, a children's tale that you'd say before you go to bed, of the legendary Fork Warrior. This gentleman would travel around town to town, apparently, much like my family did. And one day, he was sitting in a village, and that village was getting attacked by goblins. And this man, he was a simple man. He did not care for much. And he went into a local inn, and he was getting ready to dine. And these goblins came in, and they were telling everyone, take everything out of your pockets. We're taking everything that you have, or your life will be spared. If you give up what you have, your life will be spared. But if you don't, the blood on our hands will not be our fault. It will be yours. And the Fork Warrior, he did not budge. He refused, as he was just content with his meal. And one of the goblins came over, and he said, take everything out. And he said, boy, you better sit down. And the goblin just your life, or what's in your pockets. And he said, you sit down. And then another couple goblins came over, and he's just like, are we really gonna get into this? Because y'all better sit down and get something to eat. Or I can't be responsible for what I do to you. So the goblin pulls out his knife and he holds it at his throat. You have one final chance, he says. So the warrior takes his fork and he stabs the goblin's hand into the table. And he said, you had one final chance. And now you don't. And he goes and he grabs a handful of forks. And he killed every one of those goblins that day. Not a single one survived. And that man did it all with the forks at the tavern. And he said thank you to the barkeep as he handed him a fresh meal and a free alcohol for the entire night. And that man left without any further words. And no one knows where he went, and no one knows where he is. But there is a string of legends that state that he has been through several other villages in that area doing the same exact thing. When his meals are threatened, the Fork Warrior rises.
That's unforkin' believable, Millie. That's a great story.
That is a great story. There's a moment where his eyes alight when Restic says this, and he's just like, unforkin' believable indeed. And you see there's a little bit of ice still left on the ground, and his expression changes from that of like, this was a kind of like a gleeful little tall tale, and he doesn't let it gloss over the beginning of that story, and he scoops up that little bit of ice that's still on the ground, and he holds it above your head, and he just lets the ice kind of just drift down over you. And he smiles and just holds your gaze for a moment. You have inspiration for that story.
Thank
And you
you.
may choose an item.
I think our party desperately needs an AoE. I'm feeling the wand.
Okay,
Feels like-
the obsidian wand of the volcanic heart.
Yep.
Yep.
I feel like it would be fitting toward the devastation of the
Yeah.
the town in the beginning.
Yeah, he hands it to you, and like as you like grab it, he holds onto it, and like again holds your gaze. He's like, remember, fire can be destructive, but it can also be renewing.
Thank you.
Don't let the flames of your past burn the promise of your future. And he kind of sits back and he looks around at all of you, and he's taking in all these stories. And again, like I said, each like story that you tell becomes seems to become a new rune on the tortoise shell. And he looks around at all of you and he's like, I've heard your wonderful stories of the past, of your journeys together. I ask you now for a story of your future, where you see yourself when your work that you set out to complete is done. What lies ahead when a sword does not need to be drawn, when a spell does no longer needs to be cast, when you are able to lay your head down peacefully at night. What awaits the new Hunt Lords? Please, tell me this, so that when it comes to pass, I may be the first to tell the tale of the Hunt Lords. And this is a group effort.
I'd say
You
progress.
guys can go ahead.
We have a town that we're responsible for, and even if the fighting ends and our journey is done, we have people to care for. We have friends to protect and support. And on a personal note, I'd like to find family. If they're still around. Oh, you missed out on a great story, though. I had a good one involving a crooked politician and two giants and a big pile of... No, I'll save it. That's another story for another time. But I'll pass it over to everyone else, because I don't want to talk all the time.
Mark will and be looking, and he just kind of his eyes trace the runes, and he goes, honestly, I see a tavern, and in this tavern, I see a village healer. I see its protector. You'll look over at Ressig. I see its strength, and you'll look over at Zrag. And the tender of its animals, in their spirits, and you'll look at Adelaide. He goes, I see them smiling around a table, enjoying a well-earned drink after a long day's work. I see a town on the mend after years of suffering. It's a good vision. He'll just end there.
Mark, you might have given up the gavel, but every town does need a sheriff. Or a judge. I notice you were left out of that story. You'll be there too. Drag your ass there myself if I have to. At least we don't have to deal with that skull anymore. It's in the hole.
Merc will just chuckle. If I get there, I get there.
Millie will chime in. She'll kind of just give an envisionment of what she sees for the town. She'll say like, for the future for us, I see a found family with all of us. In a land that we're kind of bound to. And she'll kind of half explain what it means to be a hunt lord. We're there forever. And she'll then kind of go on and say like what we have plans for. So, we're gonna create the town to be a lot more lively. We're gonna kind of get rid of the old stereotype of it being an unsafe location for people to join, and then she'll kind of like half mention how Ressig scared off a merchant because he was trying to convince him to go to this haunted town. And now he ran away, just terrified out of his mind because he's just like, they're gonna take me to the ghost land and he's gonna threaten me to take me to the ghost land.
Merc is gonna chime in and go, that might be something we'll be struggling with for a long time.
Oh, I'm sure. But I would like to make a school for the children. Be able to teach them, basic life skills and things that allow them to utilize their curiosity to be able to better their lives and make their own decisions. I'd like to put in a clinic that we can have better medical, practices for the people that are going to be out hunting and potentially could get wounded while they're out and about, or if something were to threaten the town, or, any of us. As I've had to heal each and every one of them a few times. And she'll kind of laugh about it, but you can see on her face she's a little like distraught. She's like, I think we're gonna be in a place of a lot of healing, and not like necessarily just the physical kind, but everything else.
Adelaide will be. Yeah, after all this is over, and we've developed our town, Adelaide would really love to travel. Maybe be just like you, not a merchant, but talk to other people, listen to their stories, tell our story, so people know that they should not come and mess with us. But that's what Adelaide wants to do. She wants to travel around the world without having to be scared or keeping an eye out for someone hunting us. So that's what she wants to do.
When did Adelaide start speaking in the third person? Adelaide would like to go travel. That's what Adelaide wants to do.
Adelaide can
Correct.
speak whatever the way that she wants to speak, okay? She's her own free person.
Yep.
Greg wouldn't know how to answer this because all he's ever known is fighting. Ideally, he would, want to one day go back to his his tribe and maybe possibly be the chieftain there, but he's never actually thought of what comes after. It's kind of hard for him to think what comes after, because he's pretty much got it in his head that he's gonna die on the battlefield someday.
Millie won't let you die.
Merc will kind of pat Zureg on the back. He goes, "Sometimes a good burial is all we can ask for." Merc sees it.
Millie kind of half like will be like, didn't let you do it the first time.
Merc will
Both of us are
chuckle.
Suffering.
He'll go, "I don't know. I believe my body is still in that glade."
The first one.
Zurek, I thought you want to kick it with Jeeves and not take showers all the time.
Well, I can get with Jeeves, but that ain't gonna be a long-term thing.
Millie will be like, and that's another thing. We're gonna be cleaner. Prevent disease. Prevent infection. She's just gonna go like nuts on it. She's just like clean.
Speaking of cleanliness, I think we should also gather cucumbers, and we get a vinegar, okay? And you put them in a vat, and you ferment them.
You're treading on dangerous ground here.
No, that would be a stupid
Adelaide
idea.
is
That would
about
make a
to freaking...
terrible food. Merc
There's
will
a
say.
rumble. There's a rumble of thunder and a flash of lightning above you, and you says you fucking tread dangerously.
And that's a lot of puss coming your way.
But yeah, Merc will go, no, that would make a terrible food. No one would want a rotten cucumber. Just
I
eat a
agree.
cucumber.
Cucumbers are fine the way they are. Slice them up in a
Exactly.
salad.
Oof,
Just eat
so
them.
good.
Eat them like a normal person.
If someone were to take what I would imagine as a giant crouton and put sauce and cheese on it, and then put sour cucumbers on it, it would be wrong.
I would smite that person, and I am a non-violent person. For those who I haven't individually given inspiration, please take a point of inspiration for this shared story
I think I'm
and
maxed
choose
out.
another item.
Shield, please.
Ooh. I want. What's the other two?
What was it called?
Uh,
The Mask of the Triceratops Spirit?
The trinket.
Mask of the Ceratop Spirit.
the AC increase while concentrating.
increase.
Was it that one?
Yeah, that is the
Mask of the Ceratopsian.
yeah. You get a
Spirit.
+1 AC. Yeah, you get a +1 to your AC while concentrating on a spell, and it allows you to cast Shield once per long rest.
Okay.
That's without spending a spell slot, if that didn't need to be.
This one?
Adelaide, I'm imagining you want the Chowinga Spirit, or the Chowinga Charm.
That
Gives you temporary
Oh.
HP equal to your Druid level when you wild shape.
yes.
Okay. Fossilized Chowinga Charm.
Chowinga charm.
That's
And-
CH Winga.
Merc, you were getting the. I don't want to say it either.
I actually don't know. Muklahate. Yeah.
If you don't take it, I will.
I actually don't know what the paladin items are.
You forgot what the paladin items were?
I never asked. Merc has
only-
only gotten other people things.
Yeah, the only one that
Oh,
you explained was the
Sun-
Sunscale Blade. The chainmail
Yeah,
and the large.
Sunscale Blade, the plus. Yeah, okay, so Sunscale Blade, the Saurian Blessing Amulet, which is, it's essentially, the Amulet of Health. So it boosts your con.
Ooh.
That's real big.
And then there's the Armlet of the Emerald Basin, which is +1 chainmail. It makes you resistant to poison and disease while you're worn. The Shield of the Bellowing Horn, which is a +1 shield. Once per long rest, as a bonus action, it emits a thunderous roar, which is a Thunder Wave. DC 13. And then again, potions are ambiguous, but it's kind of Potion of Sacred Vitality restores 20 HP and removes 1 disease or condition such as blinded, deafened, poisoned, or paralyzed.
Yeah. That armor.
Is there another item you want? Well, it helps me against disease, which I'm immune to.
Well, I mean, there was another armor, like a
Yes, there's
green plate
a
scale armor. Is all I typed in.
it's
like one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Hide of the Scaled Titan. It's a +1 hide armor that provides
Oh.
resistance to fire damage.
Okay. I thought I typed that in. Nope, that's.
Which, don't let me twist your arm, but you are about to go into the lair of the Sun Tyrant. So
Height is 14 though.
Hides, yeah. No,
yeah,
Not good armor. I'm
I don't know if I can
already
afford to lose that
resistant.
much AC.
I'm already resistant to poison, so
I'm half tempted to take the potion.
which one?
The Sacred Vitality, just because it could be clutch.
I mean, you get
Merc
one.
this entire time hasn't taken a single thing for himself. I only need start now,
Yeah.
so he'll take the potion.
Okay. Potion of Sacred Vitality.
I'll take the.
What about Restig?
I'll take the whatchamacallit of the Raptor Lord.
Okay. Do you want it in longsword or greatsword form?
Go with long sword.
Okay. It's a +1 longsword with an additional 1d4 slashing damage.
Nice.
So as you guys have been sitting here conversing,
Zureg-
telling your
Zureg get
stories.
another thing.
Oh,
I'm-
Zuri, did you grab something?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't let me continue without giving you a thing.
I did have a question. That Totem of the Sky Bellow, that's an action to yell out and cause fear. Is that how that works?
Let me look. So it was no, it's bonus action.
Makes
You
it
said it
better.
was a 10-foot radius?
10-foot radius. It's akin to like a Leonin's daunting roar.
And then the Bone Bead Necklace of the Stampede basically gives you like the charged feet.
So it gives you advantage on athletics, which you usually have when you're raging, but this will give you advantage when just by wearing it. So you'll have advantage on athletics always. It also lets you move through difficult plant-based difficult terrain without penalty. And then if you move, it's like the charge ability, like a boar's charge ability. If you move up to 20, if you move 20 feet or more, and then hit, you do additional damage. And then they have to make like I think it's, they have, let me look it up. Because I think they have to make like a strength save or be knocked prone.
The charging sounds pretty good,
Better.
especially in Chult.
Yeah, if you move at least 20 feet straight towards the target and then hit it on the same turn, it'll take an additional 1d6 slashing damage. Then it has to make a strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
And hear me out. You drink your potion, and then you charge.
And use badass points to just cap it all off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those specials. Like, I don't know if I want to give this, but it's like fuck it.
You want to
Ball.
use. Yeah.
Potion. It's one
Yeah.
time.
It is only one use. So once you use it, it's gone forever.
I mean,
The
yeah, but it's
potion,
one
yeah.
hit that's gonna fucking
Okay.
nuke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do the bone bead necklace then.
Okay.
Would our fine
well-
elephant friend be interested in training for some Hydra venom?
For these items, no. But he does have other things. If you do want to trade some venom, he could trade you some healing potions.
That'd be fine.
Oh, yeah, speaking of
no
healing,
trouble.
Merciful
Doesn't
will hurt. He's
necessarily
gonna
have to
drink
be
his
with
potion
stuff.
he just bought.
Oh my god.
I have healing magic.
I'm joking.
Yeah. I mean, how many vials of venom are you trading?
Is it 1-to-1?
If you give me one, I'll give. If you want to do 1-to-1, I'll give you one regular healing potion. If you want to give me two, I'll give you a greater healing potion for it. So for 1 for 2.
I can't remember what's the healing difference between the two.
So a healing potion is 2d4 plus 2. Greater healing is 4d4 plus 4.
I'll give up 2 vials.
Okay. So you have one greater healing potion.
All right. So let me go over this list. We have the scale plate of the Vinebound, the shield of the Ankleo King, the staff of the Horned Apex, the ring of Jungle Mist, the obsidian wand of the Volcanic Heart, the mask of the Ceratopsian Spirit, the fossilized Chewinga Charm, the potion of Sacred Vitality, the whatchamacallit of the Raptor Lord, the bone bead necklace, and the potion of super badass Zureg fuck shit up because I don't remember what it was called. Hit like a dump truck and fuck up everything.
Potion of the primal roar, right?
Yeah, potion of primal roar.
It's potion of give our toddler meth and throw him at a person.
All right.
Okay.
Did I miss anything?
The ring.
Yeah.
The ring of Jungle Mist.
Misty
Forest.
something.
Yeah, Burning
Yeah.
Jungle Mist.
Yes. Got it.
And a portable hole.
I think that's a. I don't think.
Not so bad.
I don't think Vader has to make a card for that one. Pretty sure you got that already.
No, I don't. Yeah.
I think that
Yeah,
was
that
Vader
is-
taking pity on me. That was the most. Here, buddy. Please stop. Please stop carrying the skull everywhere.
Yeah, that skull takes up most of a portable hole, by the way.
Yeah, like, yeah, you're not putting much anything else in this portable hole.
Maybe like some old armor.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can just toss that to Ressig to throw into the bag of holding.
You can go right to hell. I'll make sure to hand that to
I think the bags are holding are filled.
Zureg before doing that.
Would this count as a short rest for us?
You can absolutely take a short rest.
Yes.
Can you put the portable hole in the bag of holding, and then create a black hole?
You sure can.
That is actually how it works.
That's literally what happens. And then we
Everything
play a
in,
whole
like,
different campaign because 10 foot. It gets
Does-
sucked into it. And
Is
he
it
goes
10?
to
Portable
the
hole
I thought
astral
it was
count as a
20
bag of
feet.
holding?
No, 10.
Portable
And Merc's
hole
like,
is-
okay, guys, we have this hole. We can throw stuff in. Here, give me those bags. And he just tosses them in there. And his owner's like,
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, then we play a totally different campaign because y'all are on the astral plane and we're fucking we're no longer in Kansas anymore. If that happens.
we get picked up by 2 gifts, an auto gnome, and a space elf or whatever the hell they're called. In a very questionable ship.
Astral Elf.
Astro elf, yeah.
Yep.
Just
That
as
would-
like a gift, can Millie give off some herbs that are like typically meant for cooking or like, just gentle medicinal value?
Sure.
well, I was going to say, we have all the stuff we brought for time travel. Merc will pull out some of them if there's any, like, practical thing he wants. Just as a gift. Like, if he's like, yeah, I could really use, like, this thing for, like, waterproofing and scroll cases and stuff.
I mean,
Bait and tackle.
anything in general that you guys are willing to trade, he'll give you something of equal or of equal value. So like if you give him like waterproofing wax or something like that, he'll in turn give you like here's waterproof matches or something like that. Like but
There's your
while
gift.
you guys have been telling the story, you're taking. I appreciate you. You guys are taking your short rest. So go ahead and spend how many hit die you would like to do, and then let me know when you're ready. Because I have a dragon to throw at you guys. I'm just kidding. I'm not
Cool.
throwing a dragon at you guys.
Hey, Zurag changed.
We got the
his name.
shield?
I got the shield. Yeah, I got the
Yeah.
shield, the armor, and the weapon. Which, during said short rest, if Merc gave up his weapon, I gave up the trident to fish command. Get rid of that.
All Merc wanted was Barris to be remembered. So he gave up the Amulet of Devotion and the story for Barris to be remembered.
Nice.
That's a good
He was
one.
stolen away in the night by the Yeti.
By the Sasquatch.
I like to
So,
think
the
that it
story
was more
I wanna-
Barris just didn't make it that. That's how I've
Well,
always
the
kind of
story
interpreted
I
it.
wanted to tell was Resic punching somebody in the nuts.
Very
But
nice.
Adelaide wasn't there for the second part
there.
of that, where he grabbed somebody by the nuts. Also,
Yeah, Resnick likes to touch nuts in some form or fashion. It might not be pleasant.
Merc writes another poem. It's just called Ressig the Ballbreaker. Let me tell you of Ressig the Ballbreaker.
You
Shatterer of
heard the
testicles.
story of the Nutcracker. So as you guys, heal up, you're telling your story, you're getting your items and stuff like that. The sky begins to get really dark, and Zanu stands up and he's like, "Oh, time flies when stories are being told. We should probably find my friends and make camp for the night. Why don't you follow me?" And he taps his staff on the ground, and the torch shell condenses back to its cart form. Come on, Boulder Drop. Let's go find our jungle friends. Follow me, travelers.
as we walk, Ressig will approach Merc. I noticed you gave up your weapon. Are you okay with the one you have? Because You've heard my
Merc will lift up Old Reliable, which is the flail.
you heard my story.
There we go.
This was gifted to me. And he'll hold up the war pick, which is technically a +1 weapon as well. It was given to me by somebody who was captured.
A squeak in the jungle.
Yes. Strange. Squeaky
Breathtaking.
toys.
Is there a rubber ducky on the bottom of this war pick?
Yes. It's actually a
It's for stress relief.
small stuffed gnome with a squeaker in it. For some reason, the dwarf who gifted it to me just didn't fancy gnomes very much. Said they were very annoying. They made a lot of weird squeaky noises. So she had a small
Merc will nod and goes,
stuffed
us
gnome.
dwarves do hate gnomes.
Well, would you like this? Or
It's
there's this
something precious
new-
to you, isn't it?
It was gifted to me by somebody who protected me. I don't see why I can't gift it to somebody who also protected me. And who I've protected as well. Or you can have the Moki, Waki, whatever the fuck it's called.
Mokohatl?
I will never remember it.
Dude, I looked it up, and it's like one of my favorite weapons just because it's so brutal. But I will never.
Merc will go, like, kind of look at the pick and he'll go, are you sure? He seems uneasy about taking something that's, like, linked to Ressig's past.
You may have to give it up at some point in time, because I am still trying to find her family. But for now, I can only use one thing. And it'd mean a lot for you to use it. I think she'd be happy
Merc will
to share.
gently take the war pick then.
It is a +1 war pick. Nothing fancy. I did give it a name, but then I lost it with the repeated number of uploading from D&D Beyond. I don't remember what I called it. Stormhammer Spike, I believe is what I called it.
See if I can find it in the compendium.
Oh, the Crest Dental Floss Pick.
Each classes, blah blah blah. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything else that you guys would like to discuss while you're following Xanu, please feel free.
I think you're muted.
Probably ask Adelaide if she's seen any other folk like him before. Is he pretty common down here?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Adelaide has to. I think we talked about it yesterday. No.
Merc will, sorry, real quick. Merc will pick up the war pick and stare at it questioningly, and then go, actually, I don't know how to use this, and hand it back to Ressic. He's on provision in war pick.
What
a
in
martial
the
weapon.
hell is this? Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
martial
martial weapon. Should be fine.
The reason D&D Beyond, or the Foundry's like, you don't know how to use this.
What?
Yeah, added a war pick.
Really, we'll probably go and try to talk to him again and just be like, do you happen to have any, like, books on, like, wildlife or plant life, herbs and things like that in the area that we should be aware of.
Yeah.
So I can kind of use it as a survival guide.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually quite imperative that you are knowledgeable about the plants around here. Some of them can be quite voracious. And he taps his like all over him, like trying to it's like you do like when you like search for your keys. It's like I know I have it around here somewhere. And then he gives you he pulls it out, and it's like a pretty thick tome. That looks like it's been like cobbled together, like the bindings are hand bound and stuff like that. And he's like, I've memorized everything in this book, so everything is up here. You may have it.
Cute.
I hope it brings you. I hope it's of use to you.
Millie will rustle through her bag and pull out a book. If you would like to be knowledgeable about things in the north, then she'll hand it over.
His eyes lighten up. He's like, oh, why, thank you. And he puts it back where he took the other book from.
It's also kind of like, you can tell it's been read through a handful of times by Millie.
Anything else you guys wish to discuss while you travel?
Millie will go over and thank Merc a bunch more for providing her with a ring that will keep her safe.
I imagine during this, just to continue with the snafu of Merc not initially being proficient with the hammer, the pick, Vesic's like, no, you swing it like this, and Merc's like this? It's like, no, like this!
Just ends up wedged in a fucking tree. Just like, chunk, pull it out.
Flies off, and you just hear like a splash. Thun. Oh, that's gone forever.
And Merc will look over at Millie and go, it's fine, Millie. We needed you safe for when the monkeys come to collect for your brutal murder of that monkey.
It isn't just me.
You... What do they call it? 86'd it? Well?
Why did you spit acid at the monkey?
I mean, if it was already gonna die, I was trying to save it from its legs, its shin bones being catapulted upwards. Do you know how that feels?
I was running to catch it.
You weren't going to make it in time.
I was prepared to haste.
Its tiny little frozen bones would have been scattered across the forest floor. It would have felt its agonies as its crushed little monkey ribs hit the ground.
It would have been okay.
You shot a lethally intended spell.
I did no such thing.
Honestly, I was really surprised as someone who is as peaceful as you are to just lose
The
it
hat
like
was
that.
my mother's.
I understand. Sometimes you just got to teach a bitch a lesson.
Millie walks away from Merc more distraught than like than when she went. Like, you can see like she's notably upset, and she's just like, I can't handle this conversation anymore.
Merc will go look over at Rusty and go, I believe I reassured her that killing that monkey brutally was fine.
Not sure how well it worked, but I'm sure she'll be okay.
I miss Bluey.
Yeah.
And Scuttles.
And Bluey 4, 5, 6, and 7, or however many you've decimated.
We're going to 5 once we get a long rest.
Well, if there's nothing else you guys would like to discuss as you travel along, eventually, see the jungle begins to open up a bit, and Zanu brings you to what looks to be about a curtain of vines hanging down, a thick curtain of lush green vines hanging down in front of the path that he has brought you on. He's like, I'm sure the door is around here somewhere. And he starts like touching the vines with his hands. He's like, ah, yes. And he sticks his hand in and he says something in Druidic. Adelaide, you would understand it as, I am a friend. I come bearing gifts. And there's a little rustle from the vines as they begin to part like a curtain. And it opens up into a hidden grove that seems to be lit by all types of bioluminescent plants and fungi, as well as a fire in the center of a grove, upon which you see little tiny spirits dancing around. They wear white masks that are all carved into different expressions and have fluttering grass skirts that kind of cover their whole body. And they seem to be moving in a rhythmic dance around a massive petrified tree stump, which holds this communal fire that seems to be fed not by wood, but by bones. And you hear a crackle and a release of multicolored flames as you come in. And as you do so, they all stop and they all turn towards you. Think Moana, those coconut dudes.
Hmm.
Think that. They all turn towards you and stop. And there's a silence besides the crackling flames. And Zanu goes up and he's speaking low in like a low whisper. And you see he walks right up to what is clearly the chieftain of this little Chawinga tribe. And after a moment of deliberation, you see like Zanu's pointing towards you, and he seems to like just telling him about you. He comes over and he smiles. He's like, "You are honored, travelers. The Chawinga trust few with their breath. Come, they have asked you to join us." And he walks off into the group and sits down. And the others, like these little Chawingas, like I said, they're these little spirits. They don't come up to about half your shin, but they're all wearing these white masks, and they're all in different expressions. And you can see, like I said, you see the chieftain. He's got a cracked obsidian mask that seems to be kind of have a reflective inlay. He is sitting at the head of the fire while the other ones dance around. You see standing next to him is a what can only be what can only guess is the medicine man. He wears a spongy red-capped mushroom that's kind of growing on one side of his mask that's etched with some sort of looks like musical notes. And in front of the fire, kind of stoking it and like raising their hands, and with each like thrust of their hands up into the air, you see them like conducting this dance as people are moving around. As a porcelain white mask that's painted with two moon faces, the full and the new moon, that are placed on each cheek. And they are all just dancing around off in the distance, kind of standing on a rock looking up into the now glowing moon that's kind of shining its light down into this little grove. You see another one with a silver bark mask that has like small little crystals that are glowing faintly in this moonlight. And there's this foreboding figure that's kind of offset from everybody else. just kind of leaned up against one of the trees with his arms fold. He's got an angular and red sharp mask that has vine motifs and thorns around the eyes. Clearly, the warrior of the group. But as you all come in, you just hear these little mutters, and they're not. And they you can tell that they're speaking, but it's not a language that you guys understand. It's like, and they're all like, now that they've seen you and they welcome you in, they like come over and they're like reaching for you, like pulling on you and like pulling you into this encampment to like bring you around the fire to join in their dance. Do you join in to their dance?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Zurag's going. He doesn't know
Yep.
what he's doing, but he's going.
Millie sees him and she's like, "Oh my god, I love them already."
Yeah.
Merc will observe the dance. What kind of dance are we talking here?
It just seems like a tribal dance to offer, like just to offer thanks up to like the forest and to the moon and stuff like that. It's there's really no rhyme or reason to it. Like each Chewinga that you see moving are doing their own thing, but they're moving around this fire that sits on this petrified stump. And you
Yeah.
watch as like occasionally like one will toss something into the fire as like an offering.
I think with as regimental as his life is, and like just like what would a Dwergar dance even look like? It'd probably be like an orchestrated thing. Merc is like, okay, I'll just observe them and I'll figure out what their dance is as to not offend them. And he's just sitting there staring at them like, okay. And it just looks like he's blue screening. It's just like,
Yeah, because
there'll be an
each
order to this
individual-
eventually.
No, yeah, and there isn't. Like you watch for a few minutes and there's no order. Each Chewinga seems to be doing something else. It's like watching somebody do the Cupid shuffle while another person does the cha-cha slide, while another person does the Cotton Out Joe, while another person is breakdancing. And you know, it's chaos, but it seems to be like an orchestrated chaos. And
Merc should go
while you
dress
guys
like Durania from Zelda.
Merc will think for a little bit, and he'll walk up, and he'll start to tap his feet, and then he'll move them in between, and it's just all tapping as he begins an Irish tap dance.
nice river dance.
Yeah, he just starts river dancing.
And while you guys are dancing, you know you see like they're all lively with you. They're like spinning around you while you're spinning around the fire, and they're all like calling out into the air. It's just a jovial time. And then there comes a moment where that the Chewinga that has the moons on their face walks up and holds their hands up. And then they start to like there's like a line of them that like leads they just hand off this gourd and they start to pass it around, and each person that gets it tips it up, and eventually it comes to each and every one of you. Inside there's like an amber looking sap, and they like hand it out to you.
Don't mind if I do.
Do you all imbibe?
Vressig would probably get kind of caught up in the moment, having not really had a lot of jovial times as of late, so kind of get caught up in the moment and probably without even realizing it, just like take a drink.
Something cute and adorable just offered Millie a drink. Millie takes.
And this is where the campaign ends, because we all fall into an infinite sleep, and they're burning bones. Where the fuck are they getting the bones from? Haha.
Oh damn! What are we doing?
Merc is using all of his current wisdom and intelligence, focusing on his feet, so he does not imbibe. as it takes every iota of Merc's being to be graceful for even one moment.
There's a hand on your
Adelaide will
shoulder.
definitely drink it.
There's a hand on your shoulder, Merc, and it's like, you have been welcomed into the tribe. It's best not to upset them. This is their local custom. This is the dream sap.
Oh,
You're quite safe, my friend.
Merc's like, I can either dance or drink. I don't know if I can do both at the same time. It's not a matter of willingness, it's a matter of capability.
He puts both hands on your shoulders now and just like stares into you. Just, there's no thought needed. Just let your body move. Let your mind wander. And he takes a sip of the dream sap and hands it to you.
While keeping the river dance going, Merc will like shakily like probably drinks too much actually. We go the opposite direction.
So as you guys drink this dream sap, it's thick. It's like syrup, and it's sweet tasting. And as you ingest it, the world begins to shift, and the firelight begins to, all like the crackles of sparks and stuff begin to spiral into starlight. And all the jungle sounds that you hear all around you, all the nocturnal sounds of animals, start to turn into sounds of whispers. Zurag, as you're dancing, just feeling your body become lighter than air, you're no longer dancing along this fire, but you are running through an endless jungle. Next to you, behind you, all around you, are thunderous beasts all running. You are part of a stampede. You see raptors, shrikes, even a giant great tyrant lizard all running with you. You feel as if you're one with them, but then you start to feel as if, no, they are chasing me. And your fear takes a hold of you for a moment, but then there's something that wells up in your chest and you stop running. And instead of facing away and fleeing, you turn and you roar. And a loud roar echoes out, and you watch as all the beasts veer aside and they begin to run around you and then circle back around and then stop. And you turn, like you look over your shoulder and you can see them just waiting there. And as you take a step, they take a step. You take another step, they take another step. And then you begin to run again. And now you're the leader of the stampede. You hear from just a disembodied voice, something in your head, something in your heart. Rage is not an escape. It is a command. Millie, you float above a bubbling caldera, lightning flickering through the smoke piling out from this volcano. You see a giant serpent with obsidian scales rises up, begins to wrap around you. And as it does so, it squeezes in a little bit, but not to constrict you, but almost like a comforting embrace, and the head stops right equal level with yours. And it speaks, but the voice you hear is of yourself, your own voice. Power is not a gift. It is a fault line. Crack it. And you feel it within your heart that you remember that moment where Zurag was down, that moment of, do I heal, do I hurt? Those two forces clashing against each other like tectonic plates forcing against each other. You remember choosing heal. Snags no longer snagging. Your magic may one day erupt. Be ready to shape the flow. You feel that. Ressig, you stand on a stone arena suspended in the clouds. Two massive dinosaurs, one plated and slow, one swift and fanged, circle each other around you. A spirit that looks like you, but isn't you, stands there between them, dual-wielding fanged blades, looking back and forth between these two great beasts. You hear a voice that says to fight is to choose shield or spear, charge or wait. And inside you feel these words of wisdom kind of resonate, and you feel that your decisions sharpen your blade more than steel. Adelaide, you walk through a field of fossils, and then you pass into a jungle that seems to mirror everything inside. But inside, instead of plant life, everything is made of bone. And every predator is gentle. You see, sitting on one of these bone flowers is a chewinga in a long leaf mask, and he hands you a seed. What you bury returns in time. And you feel that in your heart that even death is just a cycle of renewal. Your mind goes to all these bones and stuff that you've been collecting. The ritual that you plan for them. Merc, you stand facing a tyrannosaur with burning eyes and a crown of vines that roars before you, and you stand unarmed. You feel the hot breath as this thing roars, seeing all of its vicious fangs in their glory right in front of you. But as the roar comes to an end, it bows. And behind it, you see a sea of shadows that begin to recede. Your vow is not chains. It is your spear. You feel that your oath is the jungle's own promise, relentless and radiant. You hear Zanu's voice, all of you collectively. They have shared your soul. You will not be forgotten by the jungle, nor by what dwells beneath it. You may all mark a long rest. As you wake up at dawn, near a cold fire, soft moss bedding beneath you, and you see that the chewinga have left offerings besides each of you. Flowers, feathers, tiny carved masks, hand-scrawled glyphs on bark. You hear a rustle around you from multiple directions. And as the bleariness of not only waking up, but waking up after taking a hallucinogen, your eyes are groggy and everything is all blurry and melty for a moment as you're rubbing your eyes trying to get your composure. And as your eyes come into focus, you notice that there are multiple spearheads all pointed at you as you look around, as multiple members of the Terror Claw tribe stand around you. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
How'd they get in here?
At least we don't have to look for him anymore.
So, the Chewinga have given you guys some boons. I will tell you what they are now.
Ooh.
So for Zurag, you may choose. You can either have a +1 to your next intimidation check, or you can get a point of inspiration. Millie, you may learn 1 sorcerer cantrip. Resig, you have a +1 on your next initiative roll. Adelaide, you can cast Goodberry without expending a spell slot.
Like,
And for the
for
reluctant
good?
paladin, just one time.
Oh, I was like, God damn.
Yeah, no, just one time. One time. Yeah, all this is just one time use. And for the reluctant paladin who took too much, the next time you use Divine Smite,
Mhm.
you deal max damage.
Oh, shit!
And due to this Chewinga rest, you guys may restore a long rest like normal.
Ooh.
Meaning all your hit dies, all your
I'm
abilities,
scared.
and all your health.
We're gonna fucking die! Vader, stop! Stop! No, take something from us, hurt us. Sorry, this isn't right.
Okay, you wake up without kidneys.
Okay,
I'm
thank
in
God.
danger.
And that's, I don't have the spell for this.
Alright. Man, I only was down 10 hit points, so it's okay.
I got
That's
him.
right, but you get all your hit dies back, which normally
I'll
you
take
wouldn't.
that.
You get. This is a regular normal long rest, so you have all your hit dice, all your abilities, all your health, and plus these Chewinga boons.
And Millie gets a cantrip for 1 shot.
Clean.
She gets to learn a sorcerer cantrip.
Oh, okay. So that one's permanent. Well.
This won't be the last time you guys will see these Chewinga.
Good. That was definitely cool. Thank you for the last session was just fucking crossing that bridge was just a disaster. Thank you for something.
Yep.
It was amusing
Yeah.
though.
It was certainly that.
You know what
but
I did find out looking at the party loot, we did have a scroll of Featherfall.
we have a few scrolls there
Remember-
actually that we've never used.
Yeah.
Linus, we have all whatever he had, and I have no idea what that is because we don't have like an official list that I'm aware of. And then same with Barris
I
and
don't-
Giran.
Barris was gonna take the only thing Barris had other than like standard gear for a cleric was we were gonna give him the Trident of Fish command, but we took
Yeah,
that back.
and he had the boots for whatever reason, and I took those, which is why I
Yeah.
keep forgetting that we have them because I
Yep.
thought he took them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have
it's
a
definitely up
scroll
to you
of
guys to
erupting
remember
earth
what
and a
items
scroll
you
of
got.
Featherfall.
Yeah.
The only two, there's only 2 people who, well, technically 1. No, Erupting Earth is a druid spell, I think. So, a scroll of
I
Erupting
believe
Earth
so.
for Adelaide and a scroll of Featherfall for Millie. You can cast it without making
Just
any
add that to
checks.
my loot, otherwise I will not remember.
Yeah. That super cool. That list of items I was trying to keep up, but
It just kept going.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just like, I was trying to type it out, and then I'm like, I spelled that how? And then I'm like, I backed out, and like I typed it again. You're already like 4 items down, and I was just like,
yep.
I
missed
tried
missed
so
several,
hard.
as you're reading the names, and I was trying to put in the the names with what the items, my description that I typed in. I was like, ooh, I missed a few. So.
Well, this was a fun session. Great job, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was it was very fun. I'm getting a little role play sesh, telling stories and getting items and getting prepped for what's to come.
I am slightly
Um,
disappointed I forgot to mention his strong grip on the fork before.
I'm very scared.
Not.
Well, we'll see what happens.
What's to come is not getting
I'm very
branded by
scared.
these fuckers.
Yeah.
You got our pig
Yep,
hide,
yep,
right? Just wrapped around my arm.
It's about to be an exciting next couple sessions. I can't wait to see how you guys fare. But I'll say from my house to your house to everybody's house who's watching, thank you very, very much. I hope you all had fun. I know I did. This is great to double dip into Storm's King because I had this planned for last night. We were supposed to get across the bridge, meet Xanu, get items, get Chewinga, and then so it was great to get to actually play this and not have to wait a whole week. So we will continue this next Sunday. Join us here on the Disorderly Decisions channel where we're about to have a good old time here in the jungles of Chult with the Terror Claw tribe, which I'm sure will have no problems whatsoever.
Well, I mean, with our brain. Oh.
Well, good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Join us on Wednesday as we're back in Orcanis? Question mark?
Yes. I see a nod. Yes.
All right, yes. Yes, yeah. Come join us on Wednesday where Sylvan leads the Chaos crew through Orcanis, and I will try to I will make my promise here now that I will try to keep my shenanigans to a minimum, but I may break that promise just because that's who we are.
Hey. As long
I'd
as
never make
everyone's
that
having
promise
fun.
once in my life with Boom Boom.
As
I'm
long
having
as
a
everyone's
bunch of
having
fun.
then we kind of progress forward.
Yeah, we make a little progress each time, I think. Yeah. But yeah, come join us on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over there in Orcanis, where we turn Lysander's hair gray from all the stress.
Good thing it's already white.
But, yeah, there you go. There you go. But good night, everyone. We need a sign off. We'll work on it eventually. But good night, everybody. We will see you guys somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep.
Yes.
Disorderly decisions out.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Oh, hard.
Bye.
Right.